Oh, hello there. Hey, everybody. So, sorry about what happened earlier with the repeated failed streams. Let me try to explain it maybe. Uh, so, basically, I just had a bunch of blue screens of death. I had about like four in a row, and every time I kept restarting, uh, every time I kept restarting OBS, my computer would just crash and die. And this went on for a while, and that's why you had a couple times where the stream almost started, and then it stopped, and it almost started, and then it stopped, etc. So I spent a lot of the day trying to fix my computer. I'm not sure if I was able to figure out what the issue is exactly, but I ran like memory diagnostics. I ran like scan disk check. I did a fresh install of my what's it called again? Of my video drivers, and I also did. I updated my BIOS. Apparently, the BIOS on this computer were 5 years old, so hopefully that was the issue. One of those. But anyway, so let me think. What was I talking about before I got interrupted? So I'm just gonna take a sip. I have a bottle of Perrier here, which is I don't know. It's kind of terrible, but I kind of like it. It's a good replacement for pop. So yeah, so mild concern is let's see here. Tree shopping. Your country needs you. Okay, so mild concern is, like I said, something that often happens, particularly in action movies, where something happens and it's sometimes a result of like trying to be funny, and then sometimes it's a like just bad acting, where like you have the hero staying there and he's just looking, and you can tell that he's concerned about what's happening, but it's a mild concern. And like there's this scene in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides where they're on a ship and they're like, we're gonna go to Mermaid Cove, and one of the men goes, not Mermaid Cove, and then he jumps over the ship. I couldn't find a clip of this. I looked, and after he does that, they're like, turn the boat around. Turn the boat around. We got to save him. It's like, no, don't bother turning the boat around. It's like, no, no, we really should. It's like, no, no. Another really good example is in Breaking Bad when Combo gets shot, and Jesse's like, they got Combo, and then Walter's like, which one was he again? Like he just doesn't just doesn't care. There is another one in John Carter where John Carter kills one of the green men, and the chieftain's like, um, "Oh, you killed him." Those are kind of all examples of mild concern. It's a term I find very funny. So if you may have noticed, I use it constantly um, in No Chance, like every 5 seconds. Okay, so what would Aztecs do is one somebody pointed out in the chat. So this was actually featured on TRS. Apparently, Alex McNabb likes me, so if you happen to be watching this for whatever reason, shout out Alex. Uh, the only people I really know from TRS is I know Ghoul a bit. Uh, Ghoul's a good guy. He's a really nice guy. But what was I saying? So what would Aztecs do is was just a basic thought experiment brought on about Rotherham. Because to me, the fascinating thing about Rotherham is I think it would be incoherent to any previous generation of people. Like the idea that you would allow some foreigners to come in, rape your children, and then punish the people who tried to prevent the foreigners from raping your children. Like it's just I think the innate response of any normal human would be to just kill them in the most savage way possible if people molest your kids. And like, to take kind of the ultimate example of like the savage, who's the most savage people we can think of? The Aztecs. The Aztecs were crazy, barbaric, savage people. But what would happen if you went into an Aztec village and you tried to pull that shit? What do you think the Aztecs would do to those people? It would not be a quick death. It would not be a quick death, but there would be death. So like the skit was me trying to explain. You know, I'll just pull it up. What would Aztecs do? Let's see here. I'm gonna play this version, not the TRS version, which fan esoteric waifuism put up. Hey guys, let me know if the music's okay. It's Argentemplar here. Just a short video. So my friend Iberian started a page on Facebook called "What Would Aztecs Do?" And this came from a conversation we were having about Rotherham, where I said, "What do you think the Aztecs would do if Rotherham had have happened at the Aztec Empire? Imagine a bunch of Tlaxcalan immigrants came in and started a pedophile ring and deflowered and raped thousands of little Aztec girls and sold them into sex slavery. What do you think the Aztecs would have done about that? They probably would have cut everyone's heads off, flayed them alive, and like taken their hearts out and burned them in an altar to the sun god, or something like that. I actually don't think you could, like, if you could go back in time and try to explain it to an Aztec, I think it would just be like comedic gold. It'd be like, "Hey man, so let me get this straight. These people, they come into your country and they rape your little girls, and they're dead, right? You flayed them and you're wearing their skins. That clothing you're wearing, it's made of their skins, right?" No, no, I can't think of an Aztec name. They're too long and unpronounceable. Tlekala. No Tlekala. They're still alive. They're still alive. Oh, I get it. You put them in fate worse than death. Death is too good because they can go join the sun in the sky. You keep them in pit full of snakes so they get bitten every day. No. No. A couple of them might be in jail, maybe. Most of them were just allowed to go free. Oh, I see. You send them into jungle where they get eaten by snakes and wild animals. No, Tlaxcala, not really like that either. You see, we have this thing called political correctness, where it's mean to say bad things about other groups and punish people for their crimes. And because it's their culture to rape children, if we were to punish them for raping children, that would be against diversity and multiculturalism, and we can't go against that. So we as a society have decided that it's okay if our little girls get raped by invaders, so that we can appear tolerant. Come again, man? Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but it works. Yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. If they tried to do that, we would skin him alive. Yeah. I don't really know what to tell you. Um, and then the Aztec would just be like staring at you like you're some kind of retarded cuck, and he'd be right. I'll say this about the Aztecs. I don't even really know how to stage this. I think the idea is so foreign to them and so crazy they just wouldn't be able to even react if you tried to explain to them how we let people rape our children and didn't like publicly execute them in a brutal fashion because of diversity and multiculturalism. You know what the So Yeah, and the idea is just like we have this like pre-modern savage people, but like they get it. Like they get it at a level that like modern literate people don't. I should redo that. I can do a better. I have a better mic and I can do a better Hispanic accent now. Okay, so tree chopping, your country needs you. So this is another one I sometimes have. So this is a cliche. What this dates back to is in an episode of South Park. They have like a tree chopping scene, and then someone comes up and goes, "Your country needs you." And this was a reference to Wolverine, but people thought it was a reference to Commando. And then I started to think about it, and this happens in a lot of movies. So basically, what's happening is there's a guy who's chopping a tree, and then some. Let me see if I can find the one in Logan. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. No, that's the Wolverine. I'm looking for just Wolverine.
That's all.
Let's see here. There's one in Rambo. There's one in Immortals. There's one in Commando. It's like this just random thing that's in a whole bunch of movies. Let's see here. Oh, love the content, but I'm going to bed. I'll catch the next live stream. Okay, good night, Cyber Guy. Okay, so let's talk about some other ones. So next we'll talk about Chad Downeys. So Chad Downeys is a meme I came up with because there's this obsession in the alt right with these with eugenics. Not positive eugenics, because positive eugenics is good. So like the difference between positive and negative eugenics is positive eugenics is you encourage people who are, I don't know, morally upstanding, intelligent, have good character, are physically strong. You encourage them to have more children. Negative eugenics is you kill or sterilize people who are undesirable in order to remove them from the gene pool. The idea is either to make the gene pool better by getting better people to produce more babies and pass their good genes along, or to remove bad genes from the gene pool. And a lot of people on the alt right immediately jump to negative eugenics. We have to we have to sterilize disabled people. We have to burn um, we have to burn disabled people. We have to like oven them. We need to abort them in the womb. We accept it's like, and the one they always come about is people with Down syndrome. Like they're obsessed with it. They're like, well, what about Down syndrome? We can't let people spread Down syndrome. And so I came up with this idea, so I was just mocking. I'm like, oh yeah, because there's these Chad Downeys who are going around and just like having sex with everyone, and they're just taking all the QT waifus away, and it's absurd because these people aren't functional. Of course, they're not having children. And what I later found out is something like 95 or more percent of males with Down syndrome are infertile, anyways. Like they couldn't have children if they tried. I think it's somewhat common among women, but I think most Down syndrome women can reproduce, and there's a decent chance their children will have Down syndrome. But even then, like it's people with severely bad disabilities probably aren't going to reproduce if they're just like a vegetable or something. I don't think there's that big a chance that, like, unless they're like these chads just going around reproducing it. Like it's absurd, and it's just kind of a justification I find for kind of sadism. And so like Chad Downey is just what I came up with to kind of make fun of that. Let's see here, the Death to Normies party. Okay, so the Death to Normies party is kind of one of my multi-layered jokes. So there's a lot of different aspects to this. Um, so the Death to Normies party, the idea was to take the logical extreme of both autism and edginess and to combine them together into one party. And it's it's based on all the memes that normies get off my board re this was long before NPC, but kind of NPC. It's the whole kind of like neat sock online far right autism stuff, and the idea was to kind of take all of that and take it to its logical conclusion and create the Death to Normies party. And the Death to Normies party um, is based on that. It's a character I play. I think people saw, and I admit, like I play this up, but people notice I monotone most things. Now that's a natural, just kind of side effect of my learning disability. But I play it up, so when I'm doing like a parody video or something, I just say things completely serious. And I think it's funny, like when I'm like, well, the thing is, we don't have 24-hour ops. We have 25-hour ops, and it just sounds like I'm being 100% serious when I'm saying something crazy. So when I do Death Normies Party videos, I'm obviously playing a character, I'm etc. So the Death Normies Party is like it's like super edgy, larpy, autistic, like a bunch of just weird shit thrown together in like the form of this movement. And to a lot of extent it is part of it is it's supposed to be ironic on a couple different levels because I'm making fun of this, but it's also very tongue in cheek, and I realize like that this applies to me. Like I'm not immune to that double layer of irony. Like when I'm at Anime North or Comic Con or whatever, and I'm making fun of people in my Death to Normies party persona, I'm fully aware of the fact that I'm there. That I'm there enjoying the same thing that I'm making fun of other people for. And that's kind of part of the joke. Is it is to a certain extent self satire, and it is kind of to a certain extent satire of my audience, just kind of people in these circles, but it's kind of meant to all be done in fun. It's meant to just kind of poke fun in kind of a friendly way at the state of affairs. So that's kind of the idea behind the Death to Normies party. And I just took a bunch of ideas involving. We'll get to the next one, which is Avalotism. Back when I used to hang out with some more of like the perennialist Avola people, I took a lot of ideas from that and just kind of worked it in and just tried to make it like esoteric, etc. That's basically the Death to Normies party. So Avolatism is an ideology I came up with. As you guys know, I used to hang out with Adam Wallace before he left, and kind of those guys, and they tended to be like the more perennialist crowd. So I've tried numerous times to read Julius Evola. I've tried like a whole bunch of times in order to. Esoteric Waifuism is an admin on my Discord. Shout out Esoteric. He's a great guy. He has a very similar sense of humor to me. Extremely dry. What was I thinking of again? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Avolatism. So I've tried to read Avola books. They're the most fucking like boring, incoherent things I've ever like. I tried to read. I've never been able to get like more than a couple chapters into one. So I just kind of took like some my basic knowledge of Evola, and I mixed it with kind of the Death to Normies party stuff, and I tried to come up with like a fake LARPy rad trad ideology. So like Avalotism, the whole thing is that you know what? I'll just very briefly explain it because I've done a bunch of videos on this. So Avalotism is this idea that Hyperborea was the 2D world, and white people and Asians were cast out of the 2D world by Shlomo, and then a wall of red ice was raised to prevent us from getting back into Hyperborea, and we are possessed of the purity of essence, so we are able to we appear the way that Hyperboreans do, and Asians possess the purity of form, so they're able to create accurate depictions of Hyperborea. So humanity has this desire to return to the two-dimensional state and to escape the three dimensions of degeneracy. And so the goal is to make 2D waifus into 3D waifus, that is to make anime and cat girls and ponies real, and then breed with them to create a race of super beings who will be able to defeat Shlomo and retake Hyperborea. And that's basically like it's completely retarded, but that's kind of the joke. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we have. Okay, let's get into some DSP memes. Okay, so we have I need that money, I really do. I need that money to pay my bills. So that is a clip because DSP just begs constantly, and kind of the most famous clip of him is him saying that like I need that money to pay my bills. So that's really all that is. It's just a funny, just very cynical, very over the top begging clip. Is kind of a way, I guess, the easiest way to explain it. So yeah, that's basically what need that money to pay my bills is. Fill up the DeLorean is something DSP had in one of his thoughts on the Nation of Islam. It sounds like you copied a lot from them. Really? I don't know anything about Nation of Islam, like at all. So that's funny if I somehow copied it. So Philip the DeLorean is a joke DSP came up with. Let me find it. DSP. It's he was talking about I'll look it. Let me just find it.
This just can't be so. Phil's still playing games.
Okay, here we go. It's just a great. I like it as a diss. I think it's a really funny diss.
Oh, ho, ho.
All through and through. If you said this shit to my face, can you guess what I'd do, Mr. Troll? If I had a chance of being filthy rich or going back in time to prevent your birth, fill up the DeLorean.
So yeah, that's what it's a reference to. I thought it was pretty funny. It's kind of a diss. It's I hate you so much that I'd rather go back in time and prevent your birth than allowing you to be born. So that's another one. Thank you and fuck you is from what's it called again? Dark Side Beef. Dark Side Beef is a parody of Dark Side Phil done by Slow Beef. Slow Beef is kind of one of the originators of Let's Plays. He was kind of one of the first guys. And he does a segment where he gets like dressed up like DSP, and he just will do an hour of just rambling on about just the most like crazy, like inane stuff. And I have a whole bunch of clips of him in this. Let me just see here. I thought I did. Damn it. Never around when you need them. No, not Gates of Valhalla. Not only money. The dragon awakes. Oh, here's one.
We're casting you out of Valhalla because you don't know the riddle of steel.
Yep. Okay, there's one of them. Let's see here. Thank you and fuck you is another one. There's a bunch of them. But there's just a lot of really great DSP quotes like this one.
Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
The riddle of steel is something from Conan the Barbarian. You know what? While we're watching random clips, here we go.
He raised that snake from the time it was born.
You killed my mother. You killed my father. You killed my people. You took my father's sword.
It must have been when I was younger. There was a time, boy, when I searched for steel. And steel meant more to me than gold or jewels.
The riddle of steel.
Yes. You know what it is, don't you, boy? Shall I tell you? It's the least I can do. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. There, on the rocks. That beautiful girl.
Come, give me my child.
That is strength, boy. That is power. The strength and power of flesh. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength of your body, the desire in your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste. Contemplate this on the tree of woe.
Anyways, so that is what the riddle of steel is a reference to. But it's just a funny combination. So let me just go through here. So if anyone have any questions as we're going, let me know. I'm just gonna look through my sound clips because I have a bunch of my memes are in here. Oh, here we go.
Thank you. And fuck you.
Oh, and here's the DSP one.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Another one of my all-time favorite ones that you may hear me use from time to time.
You serious? I just told you that a moment ago.
Is from Zoolander. And this is one of my my all-time favorite quotes. Let's see.
You're a monkey!
You're a killing machine, Derek. They programmed you.
But I won't do it. I won't kill anybody.
It's not up to you. At the proper moment, they'll trigger you. Usually using some kind of auditory or visual Pavlovian response mechanism.
What?
And when it's over...
What? There's an after party?
You
gotta get there.
Oh no.
I just...
But if this has been going on for so long, Mugatu...
Well, he's just a punk-ass errand boy working for an international syndicate of fashion designers. You do a little background check on your Mr. Magatu. you'll find that he sold his soul to the devil for a shot at the big time.
But why male models?
You serious? I just told you that a moment ago.
Right.
You're
I like Zoolander. Maybe it's weird that I like Zoolander. I have kind of a strange eclectic taste. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I sometimes will use Charlie Sheen quotes, which is left over from his radio show. Charlie Sheen had a radio show that ran for 4 episodes, and it was the fucking like bizarrest thing ever.
We are in the middle of a movement here, an odyssey of epic proportions, epic proportions. They're high on vaccines and McDonald's and Us Weekly and TMZ and every other fucking shitty brand of food that they consume.
So they have here's another one. This is my favorite one.
Format is shit. Their format is cat shit. Their format is cat shit stuck to the bottom of my sprinting shoe, of my world record breaking sprinting perfect platinum Nike.
So we have those. There's defeat entire purpose of surrogacy.
Will defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy.
Which is kind of a quote that it's from the movie Surrogates, and they just say it like basically someone just explained how something would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy, and then they dramatically like turn to the camera and say that would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy. And it's just like, yeah, it would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy. It's just like a joke for like stating the obvious in a movie in a really kind of obnoxious and over the top way. Let's see, what else do we have here? Atomic Superman, 10,000 yen, a complete waste, only money. I'm just looking through my soundboard because I have a lot of the memes here. Let's see here.
Men-resistant eggs.
Average degeneracy is a reference to common filth, obviously. I have a tendency, I have like alternate names for a lot of people, like Lego Machete, Success in the Afternoon, Miss Mediocre, The Ryan Response, Nebuchadnezzar of Assyria, etc. So that's just one of them. Let's see here. The Dragon Awaits, Riddle of Steel, Pay My Bills. I'm trying to think. That might be most of them. Oh, yeah.
Girls, you will ask him for a gang. My gang of psychopaths.
That's from The Dark Knight Rises, where, in The Dark Knight Rises, Bane is explaining how he was cast out of the League of Shadows for being too radical. So it's just a funny example. It's just a funny reference in any situation where somebody gets kicked out of an extreme group for being too extreme. Like how ISIS got kicked out of Al-Qaeda for being too radical. How the hell do you get kicked out of Al-Qaeda for being too radical? Oh, let me see here. A lot of these are just DSP memes. Why Am I Toxic playing? Oh, Why Am I Toxic isn't working. Aww. Oh, that's too bad. That's really too bad. Let's see here. This is probably a less common meme you see from me. It's, but I do say this occasionally because I think this was, like, really, really based. It's the bad ending, quote-unquote, to Metro 2033. And I think it just shows a lot of, like, just paused stuff. Let's see here.
Secure the perimeter! Cover the exits! Stay alert, men!
Save your voice, Gideon. Here, get our only days and resources.
Oh no, that's Metro Last Light. I don't want Metro Last Light. I want the ending of Metro 2033.
If it's hostile, you kill it.
He's coming to destroy us. Stop him.
I love it if it's hostile, you kill it, just because it's so self-evident, but it's something that like liberals just don't understand. Let me see here if I have anything else. I don't really have too many Yandere dev memes, to be honest. I just have like a couple voice clips.
Ooh, she's tsundere as fuck.
Like that. Let me see here. There's I don't know, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I think that's pretty much everything. Is there anything people in the chat want to ask me? Like stuff I say, things I reference all the time, that you want maybe me to cover a bit about? Cover a bit?
We need to hack him, we need to cut off his face and then wear it and go on a very tightly budgeted shopping spree in stores that don't exist yet, is what we have to do. That's what we have to do, okay?
I think Charlie Sheen's right on that one. Let's see, what else do we have?
Our standard
Oh, I didn't cut standard fuck party properly. Let's see here.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth. Number one.
That's a Young Turks quote that I stole. That was Mike Singletare giving an interview. Let's see here.
If I had a chance of being filthy rich or going back in time to prevent your birth, fill up the DeLorean.
Okay, I'll give people another minute or two to respond, and then I'll head on. Let's see here. Sabotaging.
When you send me a stupid email, you are actively sabotaging.
Let's see here. Do you have the Ugandan gay interview? No, I don't have that one. Let's see here.
No money, no parts, no deal.
Thanks for the money, dummies. Because that's exactly what you fucking are. A bunch of fucking empty-headed idiots who paid me money to get absolutely nothing out of it. Thanks.
Let's see here.
Foreign devil.
I build for China.
Lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
Oh, I've gotten a good collection over time.
And I myself
will carry you to the gates of Valhalla.
Nationalism will bring us victory.
Anyways, guys, I think that covers most of the memes. If you want me to do another one of these, just post in the chat below. And have a good